Om Namah Shivaya. Today we're speaking about Raja Yoga. We're looking at the system of Raja Yoga. It is well known also as the system of Patanjali, the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. I think universally accepted. It's one of the texts and tradition in yoga which unites all schools, etc. So it's very important path. Raja Yoga is the kingly path, so-called. Raja means king. And it's basically a mystical path where we are going to go through different stages, going towards meditation. First you have concentration, then meditation, and then leading to the ultimate experience of superconsciousness. It's called samadhi. Where, as always, the union where the meditator becomes one with the absolute. So we'll look at this system and try to understand how it works. So Patanjali starts, there are four chapters in his presentation in the Yoga Sutras. In the first chapter, he will introduce the mind, and it's called Antakarana. And so there is a study of the mind, its different components, the mind being divided into the subconscious mind, chitta, manas, the mind that questions, that part of the mind that questions. The buddhi is the intellect, and ahamkara is the ego. So this is called the antakarana. It's the inner instrument. According to yogis, we are functioning with different bodies, and these bodies are like instruments for us to express ourselves and to grow and to learn. But they are also not who we are. They are like vehicles. We are in them, and we go our ways and transform ourselves. But ultimately, the idea, just like you may use your car, you want to go and visit some friends, but once you reach your destination, you park your car and you don't stay in it. If you would just say, oh no, I have to stay here, this is the only place I know, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it's just a vehicle. You use it, you park it somewhere, you get out, you do what you have to do. So yogis look at the physical body and the mind as the two instruments which we use to live and to move forward in our development path. So in Raja Yoga, in Hatha Yoga, we will use more the physical body to perform asanas and different techniques. But in Raja Yoga, we are going to look at the mind and only the mind, and we are going to try to study the mind and to make it more efficient and to focus it. And ultimately, what we want to do is to try to transcend the mind. So it's a very ambitious project because our mind is very complex. If we only just consider, the interaction between the conscious and the subconscious, it's very complex. We don't really understand it very well. Like, we don't really know exactly what's happening in the subconscious and so on. We know it's there. So it's a big job, but it's also it's like an adventure. It's a very magnificent journey where you go inside and you are going to go on a journey with many very surprising experiences as consciousness evolves. Yeah, not consciousness is evolved, but as we are able to express more and more the consciousness, yeah, just like there is a source of light, and if you cover it with different layers, the light will be dimmed, and at some point it may just be completely obscured. And then you take off the layers and you start seeing more and more that source of light. So in the same way, the light of the consciousness is there, and it's being covered by different layers, partly physical and partly mental. So that's what the Raja Yoga tells us right from the beginning. There will be the mind, we're going to study the mind, but always remember that this is not who we are. We should we try not to identify with the mind, with the thoughts. They are called vrittis. Look at your mind as an instrument, study it, learn how to manage it, and then try to see what's beyond. Yeah? So the whole idea of Raja Yoga is actually that we're studying the mind, but this is not the ultimate goal to understand the mind. We want to understand the mind in order to reach the self, which is beyond. Yeah. So different techniques will be given, how to control the thoughts and how to step by step go towards higher and higher stages of concentration, and then meditation, and then samadhi, and then ultimately that experience of superconsciousness, or being one with everything. Yeah. So maybe just to mention that in Raja Yoga there are these famous step-by-step progress, which we call Ashtanga Yoga, which we're going to discuss in another lecture, where you have the ethical foundation, and then you have asana, pranayama, pratyahara, control of the senses, and then you get into concentration stages. So this is this teaching is there. So that will be it for Raja Yoga. Om Namah Shivaya.